El Mencho, whose real name is Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, has brutally become the most feared and DEA most wanted drug lord on the planet, with $10 million for any information leading to his arrest. We have heard how savage and deadly was Pablo Escobar and El Chapo during their time of drug dealing. When fearsome cartel kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was arrested and extracted to the United States, a new, even more terrifying drug lord already took his place. What you are about to discover about El Mencho will blow your mind. Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes, aka El Mencho, is the boss behind Mexico's cartel Jalisco New Generation, or CJNG. Experts think it's become the country's deadliest and richest cartel. Born into a poor avocado-growing family in the Mexican state of Michoacan in 1966, El Mencho left school at age 10 to help out on the farm before taking a job guarding a marijuana crop at 14, and then crossing the border into the US to deal drugs. Around age 19, El Mencho, his family, and friends lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, where he tried to build a drug trafficking business. San Francisco police caught him trying to sell a meager street-level sized stash of crystal meth in 1986. He was deported to Mexico. Within months, he came back to the US and ended up back in San Francisco jail in 1989, then was deported a second time months later. Back in the US for the third time, he got in much bigger trouble. El Mencho and his older brother, Abraham Oseguera Cervantes, sold heroin for $9,500 to two undercover officers at the Imperial Bar in San Francisco in 1992. Both ended up in federal prison, where El Mencho served more than 4 years before he was deported again. Despite his criminal past, El Mencho joined the police force in Jalisco, Mexico. Years later, he eventually left the force to work for the Milenio Cartel. He became a hitman for the Milenio Cartel and married the sister of one of its leaders. The cartel became aligned with El Chapo's Sinaloa cartel, but fragmented into two groups. El Mencho became the leader of one group, called Los Torcidos, and he renamed it to Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. Around 10 years ago, he set up his own criminal crew, which quickly gained a reputation for especially brutal mass killings. They have crushed the Mexican army in battle and thrown the entire nation into chaos and fear. His cartel dominates much of Guadalajara and controls the outskirts of the state of Jalisco, as well as other states such as Colima and Michoacan. CJNG has spread to the majority of Mexico's 32 states, with an increasing presence in Tijuana and Mexico City. CJNG dealt crystal meth, cocaine, and heroin, with the drugs ending up across the world. El Mencho has also displayed a savagery that's extreme even by narco standards. For the admittedly brutal El Chapo, killing was a necessary part of the business. For Mencho, it seems more like sadism as public spectacle. In 2013, CJNG operatives raped, killed, and set fire to a 10-year-old girl, whom they mistakenly believed was a rival's daughter. In 2015, CJNG assassins executed a man and his elementary school-aged son by detonating sticks of dynamite duct taped to their bodies, laughing as they filmed the terrifying scene with their phones. Hundreds of bodies have been found in the last year, dumped in drainage canals, buried in fields, and the patios and yards of homes. Bodies have been found dissolved in acid, and bodies have been found in plastic bags. 9 bodies were left hanging from a busy stretch of highway near Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, and a CJNG banner was hung next to them. So many bodies have been found in Guadalajara that authorities ran out of space at the morgue and took the moving, rotting bodies around in refrigerated trucks until neighbors complained about the smell. The CJNG cartel is blamed for frequent attacks on police, including the October 14th ambush and massacre of 13 officers in Michoacan, failing arrest. U.S. drug agents and Mexican authorities have teamed to root out El Mencho's hiding spots at least 3 times. Police raided his secret compounds in 2012 and 2018, both times in rural Jalisco, but he always found a way to escape. During the 2012 raid, a DEA intelligence analyst said El Mencho ordered cartel members to stay inside the house and fire at police. He and his son escaped into the mountains, while 4 cartel members died. CJNG members also shot down the military helicopter as soldiers flew toward the cartel compound in rural Jalisco in hopes of capturing the cartel leader El Mencho. His private criminal security force is seen as even a challenge to the Mexican army. El Mencho is the opposite of the other drug lords. He has invested a lot of money in creating paramilitary forces which are very well armed and operate in armored vehicles. He doesn't drink alcohol and doesn't do drugs to avoid foolish mistakes made by other cartel leaders. He's also rarely seen, staying in isolated compounds that make it harder for police to access. In Mexico, you'd run into guys who had met El Chapo, says a former DEA agent, but not Mencho. He's kind of a ghost. He moves from Jalisco to different states, and he stays up in the mountains, and is very well guarded by a virtual army. He always has an escape plan, and has a large force that will engage with the Mexican security forces. So paranoid about his own security, he reportedly built his own hospital to get treatment for a kidney problem. He uses extreme violence, acid baths, decapitations, and even cannibalism to inspire fear and compliance. His cartel members post many of these gruesome deaths on social media. This includes videos of torture and murder posted on YouTube, threats broadcast on Twitter and Facebook, and even images of bodies hanging from bridges on Pinterest. CJNG specializes in corrupting police and officials and killing the incorruptible. He has been on the run ever since he came to power in 2011, when the manhunts against him began. He has a history of surrounding himself with highly trained assassins who are prepared to die for him. Today's question is, do you think the authorities will be able to capture El Mencho, or will he be lucky like Ismael Zambaba El Mayo? We will be happy to discuss this with you in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for new videos like this every week. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.